Welcome to LIC Podcast. You're here with me, Shinjit Atiwalagun. In everyday life, we see that people speak out for what they want. They try to use various strategies to achieve their goal. In university, they also teach students to speak up. But listening to what people want is not easy. In today's episode, I will tell you about the good points of listening and the bad points of not listening to others. In research context, listening is a complex construct and is frequently linked to social support. Listening can shape the conversation and interaction between people. In many other contexts, such as university or workplace, listening to people's messages leads to a lot of advantages. I am a teacher and I try to listen to what students want from me. For example, I am a teacher coach for student interns. One day, an intern called me late at night several times and asked me if she could change the workplace she was working right now. I could feel that she was very nervous and worried about it because she needed to find other workplace to continue her internship, and her internship will be longer. So, I listened to her carefully. I listened to all the story that she told me about her worry and also her discomfort. Through her story, I learned that she was not feeling good and that leads to mental health problems. So I tried to comfort her and suggest possible solutions to her after listening to her entire story. The other day, she texted me to say thank you for listening to her discomfort. She could find other workplace that fit her. She felt happy. In this situation, I feel so relieved that this intern can escape from her discomfortable situation. She can trust me, and I can be supportive to her. I believe that this situation leads to good relationships between me and this intern. Another example came from my experience a long time ago. At that time, I was teaching foundation English courses. The lesson focused on answering questions in English. I noticed that one of my students, a very beautiful girl, always went to the restroom and talked with friends during class time. I thought perhaps she didn't want to pay attention to the lesson. Then I picked her up to answer one question. The question was, do you want to live in a house or in a condominium? Her answer explains it all about her behavior and why she kept talking with friends during class time. Her answer was, she would love to live in a condominium because there was no one at home. Her parents moved to another countries and worked there. So, that was why living in a house would be so lonely for her. After her answer, I tried to talk to her more often during class times to be friends with her. Then, she felt more comfortable in classrooms. She stopped walking out to the restroom and enjoyed class activities with friends and me. As a teacher, I strongly believe that listening to students can help me learn what they are thinking and help them overcome any difficulties and discomfort they experience so they can be motivated in learning and have good relationships with me. Apart from listening to others, not listening to others gives several disadvantages. In workplace, not listening to employees leads to communication breakdown, unsuccessful in building good relationships, and demotivation in working because they feel not being heard. A study in psychology investigated feeling heard in workplace contexts. They interviewed 41 interviewees. The study suggested that the employees felt heard or not being heard only when listeners met the subjective needs and expectation. Let's go back to the story of my student intern. She told me that her supervisor did not listen to her about her workload as a student intern. For example, she needed to work outside of the office and did not get any travel expense. She was a student and did not have a lot of money. Traveling to many places can be unfair for a student. The working hour was also too long, although it was 9 to 5. Someone would text her to work on something at night. She just wanted to ask the supervisor for help. That was the reason why she made an appointment to talk with her supervisor. But it seemed that the supervisor was too busy, so that she felt not being heard. And she felt overwhelmed and demotivated to work in the company. Instead of getting working experience at the company, the student intern needed to start her internship again at another company. She had a hard feeling toward her supervisor and the company. When we look through the lens of intercultural communication, perhaps the feeling of being heard or not being heard comes from different communication styles. This links to high and low context cultures. One country has a particular trait or way of communication, whereas another has another trait. In high context culture, such as Thailand, communication is dominated by people who use contextual elements. They can be indirect, but their tones of voice and body language can indicate what their messages would be. In low context culture, on the other hand, their talk relies on written or spoken texts. They can be direct. When people are from different cultural backgrounds talk to each other, this can create a misunderstanding, and that can lead to communication breakdown. In the case of the student intern, it might come from this reason. That is why we need to listen more. Next time, when someone comes to talk to you, try to listen to them carefully so you understand their deep intention. It also leads to good relationships between you and the listener. If you feel not being heard, perhaps you need to understand that people come from different culture and different background. As a teacher, it is significant to teach students how to listen to others and understand their intention carefully, because they can become a good communicator and happy working with people. This is the end of this episode. Hope to see you in the upcoming episode. Bye for now.